How's it going, everyone? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? How's how's it going, everyone? Can you hear me? It looks like you should be able to hear me, but the audio doesn't look like it's moving on here. Want to just give me like a thumbs up in the chat if you can. Uh, some interesting stuff that I want to talk about here in a second. Um, yeah. So if you guys want to just let me know, can you hear me? Can you not hear me? For some reason, the audio does not show that it's coming up here. Let's see if everything's connected, right? Okay, sweet. All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Sorry, a little bit of a delay there. Had some technical difficulties just getting on here. For some reason, it was loading for a while. But I want to talk about the stocks that I've been buying this week. I want to talk about all of them because I have not told you guys everything that I've been buying. Just because there's some funds that I have there in retirement accounts that I just put in a deposit yesterday and bought kind of late. I want to hit on all those. I'll make it as much like a video as possible because usually I don't like I love doing lives. It's super fun and having everyone in here, but also they just don't perform well. So I usually don't do like videos. I don't do as many of these. So I want to make it easier format to follow for most people that are watching it later. Before we do that, though, I saw some people talking in the chat before this started. Dead Inside is talking about BNGO, and this is a company that both of us have talked about. Just looking at his Twitter now, I have Twitter, but it's just my personal Twitter. He says, BNGO has been around for 17 years. 4 months ago, for the first time in the history of the company, they hired a CMO who was central in the FDA clearance for the first IVD whole genome microarray, and a company now part of Thermo Fisher Scientific. FDA catalyst is what I'm staying, or is why I'm staying. So someone had, I think, been talking to him. A lot of people have been talking about selling it, but he's still staying in it. I am also staying in it. I think this is just starting to get attention. So I don't plan on selling it now. If it goes up to $1,000 a share, or not 1,000, I saw the view count and thought 1,000. If it goes up to $10 a share, I might consider it. But even if it goes up to like $5 or something, but right now we're at $3. I think people are just starting to see it, and do it with it what you will. Obviously, a lot of us have been up a lot in it. So I think you can kind of approach it however you feel comfortable. Now, just going through the stocks I bought. Okay, first of all, I bought NPA earlier this week. This is a 5G play that's really high risk, high reward. This is a company that I said in the video, okay, it could go up dramatically if they're able to do what they want to do. But 2 years down the line is when they start to expect to get any revenue, really. And they expect to get like 200 million the first year. So I'm a little bit speculative on that. First of all, just because that's a lot of revenue to get right away. So I put some money in, but I like to diversify, especially in these risky SPACs. So I did not put a lot of money in there, but I did throw in some shares. Now, everything's relative. So I'll just tell you like how much relative to other companies I've been buying, I've been putting in there, because $1,000 for one person is $1 for another person is $1 million for another. So I won't get into all that. And Minnie, thank you for the donation there. I appreciate that. Then I also bought FUSE stock, a company that is a SPAC that doesn't have a target, I believe, yet. And we're up a couple percent on that. There's some news that they might merge with a fintech company such as BlockFi or SoFi. I think SoFi is too expensive, though, for how much money they have and what they're looking for. And then we bought BNGO in this portfolio too. And BNGO is one that, like I said, I'm planning on holding for a while. We're up 140% or so. I even considered buying more when it was up like 50%, but I didn't. So it's too easy to look back on things like that. But we're up 141%. And again, I'll answer some of these questions here in a second. I want to get through some of the stocks I've been buying, though, just for people that are watching this in the future. So we bought those 3 companies. Those were all in my WeBull portfolio. Shout out. I have to give the plug. There's a link down to WeBull. This is the last day that they have told us that they're running for deposits, or for free stocks. If you deposit $100, they might do this again. They continuously do this, but this was the last day of their promotional period. Then I have to talk about the dividend stocks too. And again, I'll talk more about some of these spec plays. Dividend stocks. And there are some other stocks that I bought too that I'll talk about here in a second. But dividend stocks, I bought a couple this week, actually 3. This is part of my like $100 a week portfolio. And I won't spend too long on this. Usually people like to see the portfolio. So let me know if you like this kind of format, because you can't see my screen like usual. But we put in $100 a week, go from 0 to $1 million by that time I'm 60 if you get normal returns. And they pay dividends. So it's easy to track. It's pretty consistent. We bought AT&T, about $25 of that. They have like a 7% dividend. They're looking to offload part of their business. I think it's DirecTV. I believe that's what they're looking at selling off right now to a possible SPAC. And I actually heard about that this week. Someone reached out to me about a SPAC that wants to buy it. There's also JP Morgan Chase. I bought $50 of that one. Great dividend payer, great net income. We also have Store Capital, bought $25 of that. Overall, the portfolio is up way too much to be a dividend portfolio. I mean, we're up like 25 or 30% in 6 months just in dividend plays. Now, I want to talk about a large deposit that I put in and bought some stocks. I also want to talk about the penny stock that I bought today that went up 100 something percent. I think it was up 140% or something like that at one point throughout the day. My brother-in-law, who actually might start a channel, I've been pushing him to do it because he's picked out BTBT, which is a Bitcoin mining company, went up like 100% or 200% since he bought it. He pointed that out a couple days ago. He also pointed out the company today, the company that we bought, CELZ, I believe is the ticker symbol. He pointed it out before market hours. He's been investing in it for a few days and put like a couple $1,000s in it, or over right around 1,000, I think. Wrote it up a couple 100%. He's also he jumped on with us with some of the stocks that we've been buying. BNGO, I think he bought, and maybe some other ones. I've been pushing him to make a channel because he's picking out some really good stocks, and he's really into the market too. So let me know if Mitch should make a channel here. But we also bought a significant amount in a retirement account that I just set up recently. I put in a large deposit and I invested some of the funds, and then I kept some to buy other funds. So I'm still going to buy companies every couple of weeks or maybe every week in this fund. But I bought 4 different positions. I thought I had a 5th one here. Okay, so I think it's just not showing one of them. So ARKG, bought that. ARK Invest Fund. I like that one. That is what they think kind of is the future. ARK has said that is what they think will blow in 2021, that ARKG Genomics is going to blow up. It's a nice play too, because I don't know a ton about biotech and pharma industry. That's kind of a hard sector to invest in. And ARK has people that are specifically geared to that. Now, with the 2 last pharma stocks that we put money in, that really cheap penny stock, we're up 50% today. Also, BNGO is up like 140%. So we have killed it the last 2 days, but I want more exposure, something that I don't have to look at every single day and sweat or worry about or anything like that. So I bought ARKG, also bought ARKK, their biggest fund. I put about 20% of the deposit in both of those. And then I put money in JP Morgan, another great stock, talked about it earlier, Tattooed Chef, which I really like. And then I put it in one other one. It's not showing up here. Let's see. We'll skip that one for now. But bought a 3rd one. Where is that? I don't know why it's not showing up here. New account problems. So bought those. I'm thinking about Fubo TV. So I'm making a video right after this, and I'll put it up pretty soon after this, I believe, on Fubo and what's happening. So I'm starting to get really bullish on the price, and I explain in that video why it's down right now and why I think it's actually a pretty good value. I'll explain that more in the video, like I said, but it's getting to a really interesting price point, and really nothing fundamentally has changed at all with Fubo. It's just analysts are downgrading, and they are saying that it's too expensive. That's the only reason it's fallen, along with the fact that a lot of shares were unlocked from the IPO period. So the float was really big. A lot of people were able to take a lot of profits that they were up like 200-300% in. And some people saw that and wanted to sell off. And then some people just were the people that actually sold those initial shares. So that's why it's falling down. It's just because people are taking profit because it was up so much. And just because analysts are downgrading it because it went up so quickly. A lot of analysts start covering it and saying it's up too much. And then it started selling off and it's just kind of falling down. But again, they're growing so quickly. They're cheaper than Netflix and they're growing twice as quick as Netflix. Obviously, Netflix is a whole different beast because it's so big and so much mature, so much more mature than this company. So different, but kind of in a similar space. And obviously, Fubo is growing a lot quicker and is actually a little bit cheaper if you look at price to sales ratio. So the company that we bought this morning and sold it, I had to do it on Fidelity. I don't know if you guys were buying it. It's a company that I talked about. I was trying to decide whether even to put up a video on it. And I ended up putting up a video. Let me just take a look at it. I ended up putting up a video, but I was considering not doing it just because it is such a small company. And it's just like a $10 million market cap. And it's CELZ stock. So it's a $10 million company. I was worried that bringing so much attention to it would cause it to artificially go up. And I don't really want to do that. That being said, though, they had some really bullish results from a recent study. And they had something similar come out just a few days ago, and they popped up a very fast. And they popped up, I think, a couple 100% in a few days. So I saw something that was similar that came out, and it's them having some good results from like a heart attack study with one of their medications. So I told my private group or my Patreon members about it. I was kind of watching it, trying to decide whether I should talk about, because it's so small. Like I said, I don't want to like influence market caps like that. I don't purposely ever do that. So I was curious, and it is very risky. It was literally a 2-penny stock. So I ended up making the video, sold out when it was up 50%. It went up like 140% at one point, but I just didn't want that much risk on the table. I took it when I was up 50%. I didn't put a ton of money in it, but enough that, I can eat well tonight. So that's something I haven't talked about, but Happy New Year's to everyone coming up here in a couple hours. I'm guessing some people have already gone through New Year's if you're over in the Eastern hemisphere. So Happy New Year's to all that. Hopefully we'll have another profitable year stock wise next year. But those are the companies that I bought this week. If you guys want to rewatch it, you can always just scroll back. Even right now, I think you can go further back in the video to see what I bought. But there are a couple companies that look really attractive to me. First of all, Fubo. Second of all, I've been taking a look at Alibaba. And this is one that I've heard about for a while. Some people kept on reaching out to me about it, and I just didn't look at it enough. But if you compare it to some of its peers, like some mega cap stocks like Google, Amazon, Apple, those types of companies, they're a lot cheaper. Like they went down a significant amount recently because of some antitrust problems and some different things that are happening in China that people think that they might be broken up. But it sounds like at this point they won't be. They also own a significant portion of a private company that was going to go public, but then didn't. And this company's valuation has gone up a lot over the last couple of years. So I think that threw some people off too, because they thought they were going to get like a cash injection or be able to sell it or something like that, but then they weren't able to. So I've been looking at that one. I've just been buying a lot of stocks, and that one might be a good one just to kind of hold on to for a while. But I have not pulled the trigger on that. Also, I've been just looking at building up positions in a couple different companies. One that I still like, even though it's up so much right now, is CLSK. It's one that we're up, I think, 50% in. But I just really like it because it is a play on Bitcoin mining, but it's also a play on EV. So I've been looking at that one more, but I have not actually pulled the trigger on it, buying more of it. That being said, I might soon, just because, Bitcoin price is going up a good amount. And then I think I also talked about possibly buying some more of like FUSE stock. And just so you guys know, I have my phone here just looking at some of my portfolios. I'm not like texting anyone or anything like that, but I've been looking at that one because it is such a low downside that I think it could be a good investment because it's just above $10. And, I'm talking about this one, but I'm not specifically talking about this one. There could be someone else, some other one that comes up in the future that I could be interested in. But that's kind of where I'm thinking now. I'm bullish on it, but I'm still waiting a little bit because it is up from $2 a share to $28 a share, something like that. And then the last company I think that wouldn't show up earlier for some reason when I was talking about Fidelity and what stocks I've been buying, I bought Disney also. So that is the last stock that I bought a significant portion of in my retirement account. So sorry that wasn't clear. For some reason, it didn't show up earlier. But those are all the stocks I've been buying. I'll talk to you guys for a couple minutes, just answering some questions. So why FUSE? Because they're looking at fintech. There's some companies that are really high growth. If they go through with BlockFi, shout out to BlockFi. They're actually an affiliate down there. They give really high interest rates. I think it will bring a lot of attention to BlockFi if they do that. I think a lot of people don't understand how high an interest rate you can get on money, and money that it's not FDIC insured, which is what freaks some people out. But like as risky as Bitcoin is and stuff like that, you can invest in something that's kind of similar, which is stablecoin that's literally tied to the US dollar, and you can get 8.6% interest on that. So even if it's a little bit riskier, it might be worth like putting a few $1,000s in instead of leaving it in a bank account somewhere and letting it rot away with inflation. So I think more people will go to institutions like that, and they also let you lend on some of your cryptocurrency. So if you want to buy cryptocurrency, you can actually get loans on it. If it goes up 1,000% or something, and you can't sell it because you're going to have massive capital gains, but you want to be able to leverage it or get loans on it, they allow that. So I like that company just in general. I like what they're doing. And in an age where cryptocurrency is getting a lot of attention, that would make a lot of sense to me. So that's why I'm kind of looking at it. They haven't confirmed that they're going to merge yet or anything like that, but FUSE is pretty inexpensive comparatively. So I am considering it. I think it's got limited downside, even if they don't go through with the merger. And these SPACs usually do go through with the merger. Someone told me that there are only about 2 last year that didn't go through. That makes sense, right? These investors gained a lot of money or raised a lot of money for these SPACs. They want to get paid. They want to be able to find a target because otherwise they have to give the money back, and it will leave a sour taste in a lot of investors' mouths that they just sat on money, or they just wasted 2 years in a SPAC that didn't get any company to merge with. So people will be pissed off at that. So that's something to consider too. I think they'll probably find someone. So what other questions do you guys have? If ARK says no to BNGO, will it go back to $1 or $1? I don't think so. I think a lot of people are buying it, not just because ARK Invest might buy it, because I think that's more of a YouTube thing that like we're talking about it. Because I don't think too many people outside the YouTube community probably like talk about ARK Invest buying stocks. Just in my head, that's what I'm thinking. But I think just in general, their technology is really awesome. I mean, I've never used it, obviously, but it seems like what they're doing could be very profitable. So I think it won't go down to $1. It might sell off a little bit, but it's not like they're going to come out and say we're not buying BNGO. It'll just be like this overlooming thing. Like, will they buy it tomorrow? Will they buy it the next day? Will they buy it next week? And then maybe we see like 3 months down the line, oh, they haven't bought it, and then we'll know like, okay, maybe they don't want to buy it. How much do I think BNGO will go to? I don't know. That's a tough one. I am wearing Lululemon. I didn't buy it, but I got it from my girlfriend for Christmas. So yeah, we can thank her for that. Can I please talk about Fubo more? So I have a video going up later today, like in an hour or two, on Fubo, breaking it down for 10 minutes. So I think that's going to be a good one. And I don't think the stock price will change that much between now and then. But if you guys want a little taster. I am bullish on it going forward, but I'll explain better why in that video. Okay. What else? What else do you guys want to know? Tattooed Chef will buy. Yeah, I'm buying it long term. This is one that I'm just leaving it. I bought it. I'm going to leave it. I'm not like looking at it every day to see if it went up or went down. This one, I think, is just one of those ones that it will fluctuate a lot, but I'm going to leave it. Have I slept? Barely. I was on a call for 4 hours last night after being on a call, 3 or 4 other calls throughout the day. But I was on a call for 4 hours and then woke up and saw that there was news on BNGO and had to make videos on it, then made a video on that other penny stock. I didn't get much sleep. Get some sleep? Yeah, I will tomorrow. The market's closed, so it'll be easier. Buy in January or wait for a pullback. I'm not sure which one you're talking about, but I typically, if I like the stock, I don't usually wait for pullbacks too much unless it's I guess with food, I've been waiting for a pullback, right? I've been just waiting for it to drop because I see it drop 5 out of the last 6 days, but I don't necessarily always do that. If it's some stock that I've just heard about that I see going up, then I usually add more, or I'll buy it. I don't always increase my position if it goes up a lot, but I'll buy it even when it's going up. Have I heard about CLA? Yeah, I think I've actually done a video on it. GNOG, I haven't looked at it in a while. NNDM, I haven't seen it. COUV, I have looked at that. I haven't looked at their investor presentation, but I see it keep on moving up. Like 1 or 2 people have reached out to me. And this morning, I just had those other stocks that I wanted to talk about, those other penny stocks that were going up like crazy. But COUV is a penny stock. If you guys want to look at it, a handful of people have reached out to me about it. It's been up significantly the last few days. And Cesario, I think you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it's an EV penny stock that they maybe bought a penny stock recently. So yeah, thoughts on BFT? I like it longer term. I've seen some back and forth on it, whether people are comfortable with it, but I like it. BT, that's the one that my brother-in-law actually bought recently and has done really well on. So I think he's up over 100%. What are my thoughts on GOEV? I have not looked at it. Offering coming on BNGO. Let's hope. So I think that would probably send the stock price down, but I think that would be great for the company because they need cash, and it went up a lot. Tata lottery SPAC. I have not seen that one. Am I worried about BFT? Sorry, it moved down on me. I'm not worried about BFT as of now. Oh, lockout period. Considering institutions will have 75% of the market share. I mean, there's something to be worried about with every SPAC. I feel pretty good about this one though, because even if it sells off a little bit, they still are a very well-established company. I like what they're doing though overall. COUV can merge with Zapgo. Interesting. FSRX, what's my take? I haven't looked at that one in a little bit actually. Romeo Power, I haven't looked at that one in a while either, I'll be honest. Thoughts on BFT, thoughts on Fubo? I answered both of those. Have I ever looked at Peloton? Yes, I have, but I've never bought. Neo could be big with the investor day coming up. Long view, I like it long term. Long view, long term, easy to remember. How about IMMR? I've looked at that one. Honestly, there's so many different stocks that I've been looking at. I don't remember why I haven't made a video on it or why I haven't bought it. I was just talking with my brother-in-law about that one though. So I wish I could remember off the top of my head. JJ, what's up, man? Good to see you in here. I appreciate you coming in. Load up on DraftKings. I've thought about it. I've just been buying some other ones. Bad. Thank you for the donation. Appreciate that. What price do you think NNDM will and bingo will be by July 4? So yeah, trying to get some money for July 4, maybe some fireworks or something. So bingo, I don't know what bingo is, just to be honest. NNDM, I have not seen what they've done today. Thing with NNDM is, and I think I might get some flack for this. So they're selling off a little bit today, but they're still at $9. I was talking to people about this yesterday, NNDM and BNGO seem so different to me, like with their benefits and their risks. They're almost polar opposites to me. NNDM has really no sales, maybe doesn't have an end user really, at least as of now. And try not to give me too much hate on this, but right now you're basically just investing for speculation, right? You're betting that the price will go up because other people will pay more for it. And you're not betting necessarily that they're going to increase sales. You're not betting that they'll increase revenues, at least short term, or even in the next year. No one's saying what they expect a year out from now. So people are loading up, but a lot of people have just jumped on because it's been going up compared to BNGO, which I said to a lot of people yesterday. I didn't really care what it did. I mean, I still get nervous when it goes down like 70% or up 50% or something, a little bit, but I didn't care what it did because I really like the technology. I like the business that's behind the stock price. Like NNDM, you like the stock price because it's going up, but do you like the company if it was just a stagnant $1 stock? Like if they had the same news that came out and it was still sitting at $1, would you be buying it? That's kind of what I think about. Obviously, there is something to be said for speculation, especially these days, because a lot of the people aren't buying and selling stocks based on valuations and numbers. They're buying it because there's hype around it. But with BNGO, their product is apparently, again, I've never used it, so good that I really like it. And whether it goes up 200%, like I've said this in my private group too. If it goes up 200%, I'm probably still holding. If it goes down 50%, I'll probably still hold. And when it was falling a little bit, I was getting close to picking up more shares a couple times. So I like it. And I just think that they're so different. With NNDM, it could go up to $15. It could go up to $20. It's still a small market cap. Obviously, we've seen this year that companies that have no revenue can still be 5, 10, 20, in the case of Nikola, 30, $40 billion companies. If there's news that comes out that they acquired something, right? They acquired, I don't know, anything, anything that's a hot stock, the stock price could go up dramatically, even if the other company has no revenues either. If they're just like, oh, we acquired this company, it's in EV or it's in, I don't know, charging or something, and we can 3D print whatever, the stock price could go up, 50% in a day. So yeah, I think that's what you have to consider. Are you basing your investing on speculation? Are you okay with the risk that comes with that because you're not investing on fundamentals at all? And will you still be comfortable with it if it goes down 30%? So I don't know. Sorry, a little bit of a rant there, but I know a lot of people like NNDM, and I've been close to buying NNDM in the past, but I just can't get over the fact that it's really based on speculation at this point, what people are willing to pay. So I have to catch up here because I got lost a little bit there. My screen didn't upload or change. So EPR Properties, price prediction and take. I have not heard of that one. I'll just pull it up quick. I appreciate the donation, by the way, too. It's a real estate investment trust based in Kansas City, Missouri, and invests in amusement parks, theaters, and ski resorts. I've not looked in it. They have a decent revenue, though. They have a good revenue, 651 million. Market cap's about 2.4. Pay a nice dividend. Holy cow, 14% dividend. So one thing that just kind of hits my mind when I see a 14% dividend is it sends off some red flags that there's probably a reason that it's so high. So with this one, it looks like it went from about a $70 stock to a $32 stock. And that's probably why it's paying so high, because they just haven't decreased the dividends, or maybe what I'm looking at hasn't updated for the new dividend or something. So I'd just be cautious going into that one. I'm always cautious with dividend yields that high. Obviously, it can be good if they just recover, or if there's really no reason for it to be down. Okay, Blink, I have not looked at it in a while. Fubo TV, I have a video coming up on that soon. BNGO taken off. Yeah, I love it. Just a second here before I answer some more questions. But if you guys don't mind just hitting the like button. Again, these videos typically don't do too well because they're lives. Like after I finish the video, just no one watches. So if we can bump that up so that people actually watch it, I'll be much more likely to do this in the future if like we keep on getting views afterwards. And I like this. It's just that, it takes longer probably. Well, it's actually a little bit shorter probably than filming a video and putting it up. I like the back and forth, but also there's something to be said for it just doing a lot worse. And I don't want it to mess up the algorithm. So I appreciate that if you don't mind doing that. Also, again, WeBull last day to get those 4 free stocks, at least that they've told us. They might increase again, but PACB. So I talked about a PACB on a video recently. Actually, it was right before I heard about BNGO, and I was considering buying it because it was down like 15% or something like that. And I thought, man, this is a stock that ARK feels so strongly about. It had a couple down days, I think. And then I heard about BNGO, and I jumped on that one instead. But if you're looking for another one that does something, another stock that does something very similar to what BNGO does, you could look at PACB. But if BNGO is really that much better than PACB, I'd be cautious of that because according to, if you guys haven't seen my other videos on it over the last couple of days, according to them, they're 20 to 40 times cheaper to map genomes, and they're also more accurate. So really, I think the reason that they're pretty inexpensive now, at least from everything that I've read and researched, is the fact that, first of all, they don't have a great cash position right now, which isn't really a problem if the stock price is going up because they can dilute. The other thing is they spent a ton of their money just trying to get this product out to market. And I think that's something to consider too, that they haven't been selling a lot because they just, from what I understand, they just kind of got finished with it. And a lot of the publications are looking at the technology now. So now they're starting to get publicized. OEG. Whoa, a lot of OEGs. Let's just pull that one up here. Okay, so it's down 5%. Orbital. Okay, I know why you guys are asking about this. It's because Dak just did a video on this one. So this one, it seems like there are a lot of these this week that there are penny stocks that I've seen like 5 or 10 that have been up a couple 100%. I'm sure that's regular, but I'm surprised how many I've seen this week. BNGO, the next Bitcoin, maybe a little bit different, but infantry, I kind of said that earlier. If ARK says no to BNGO, will it go back to $1? Yeah, so I don't think that's going to happen because ARK Invest isn't going to come out and say, we're not buying it. They're just not going to buy it. They're not going to say that they're not going to buy it, but they just won't add it to their funds. But I don't know how many people that are buying large stakes are looking at ARK Invest every day like we do. But people that have $10 million, are they watching this video? Or people that are investing, hundreds of thousands of dollars in BNGO? I don't know. Maybe you guys are watching and you're like, yeah, I put $100,000 in that. Maybe you are, but I don't know how many of those people are big institutions or anyone that's buying right now. I don't know how many of them watch YouTube. And I don't think a lot of people will be like, oh, today's the day that I'm deciding that, yeah, ARK Invest isn't going to buy. So I'm selling off. Like there isn't going to be a definitive date on that. And even if they don't buy it in general, I think it'll be fine. I mean, I like the technology in general. I'm not buying it because ARK might buy it. IEA. Eric, thank you for the donation, by the way. Fundamentally undervalued wind solar energy play. It's been growing steadily. Inform the people. Okay, so this is one that I haven't looked at either. So I feel like I should. I mean, there's so many different companies out there. It's hard to keep track of all of them, and so many people reach out to me that it's hard to keep up with all of them. But if you are looking at a wind and solar energy company, here's one of them. It's gone from $3.45 a couple 4 months ago. It's up 380%. So take a look at it. It's a $370 million market cap. If you guys want to take a look at it. Noah says IEA also nice. Palantir current price dips. My thoughts on it. So I haven't bought Palantir just because I think it's a really hard business to understand. Like I understand their textbook definition of what they do, right? I understand that. But how would I know if their product is good besides just knowing if they're getting contracts? I wouldn't because I don't use the product. I mean, you could say the same thing about BNGO, but that one had so many catalysts I think that we saw that were really important that it was easy for me to feel good about it. But Palantir's down, looks like 17%, 18%. I probably still won't invest in it. Maybe if they have a couple more good earnings or something, maybe I'll jump on. I don't know at this point. I keep on finding more stocks that I like, and I've been jumping on them, and they've done well. So it's been hard to build up really large positions because I'm looking at so many different companies all the time, and a lot of companies are just doing really well. So I invest initially, and then they go up so much, and I'm like, I don't want to invest when it's up 80% if it's like a riskier play, right? If I'm up 80% in some risky play, most of the time I'll take it. But BNGO is different because I think it can still go up a lot. Fuse, I talked about that one earlier. Still just waiting on news for that one. I don't think we've heard anything. If we do hear something, please, everyone, like, comment in my video if you hear that Fuse is merging with someone. That would be awesome. Okay. I think I might get off here in a second because we have another video coming on Fubo, and then I'm doing a video on ARK's funds tomorrow. Jeffrey, thanks for the donation. DOCRF, Cloud MD, or other cloud-based MD companies you feel are good buys. So I don't know if I've looked at any cloud-based MD companies recently. That's not really my area of expertise. So I apologize. I'm probably not a good one to ask on that. I've heard about Cloud MD and DOCRF, but I have not done my research on it. So thank you for the donation though on that. Open Door. Yeah, that one's been trading off a little bit, but I plan on just holding that one for a while. IMMR. I talked about that one earlier. I have not like gone super in depth on it. PSTH. Yeah, it's gone up a little bit, but I don't see any news really on it, and I could be wrong. Let me know, you guys, if there's news on some SPAC like from today that I've talked about before. Let me know, like in the comments now, if there's like someone announced something or something like that. I'd love to hear it. Yeah, let's spam with donations so we can't leave. Yeah. Do I think Galaxy will hit 3 to 5 cents? They're at 3 cents. When do you think they'll go up? So Brett, Bad, thank you for the donation. The penny stocks you're investing are under. Oh, and penny stocks you're investing that's under 5 cents. So I've had a couple people reach out to me about a couple of them recently. Galaxy was actually one of them. I'm just pulling it up here. So the only one that I've invested in was that one from today. So Galaxy Next Generation, yeah, that's one that I've had people reach out to me, but I have not researched in depth because it is a small market cap, and like I said, so many people reach out to me. Usually I probably have 50 people reach out to me about a stock every day. So I'll look at it if they give like a good reason for why I should look at it. Like if there's a reason that I think that I would be bullish on it, then I'll look, but I just can't do like 5 minutes of research on 50 different stocks a day because that's over 4 hours. So if they give a good reason for why I should look at it, usually I'll take a look just so you guys know. But don't use that against me. But that's generally how it goes. Sorry, my comments are frozen here for a second, but I can stay on for probably another minute. IPOC merging with Clover Health. Yes, so I knew about that one actually. That one I think has been out for a while. Is there an ARK SPAC coming? I heard someone talk about that, but I don't know what that is. SPCE. I'm holding that one long term, not touching it, just hoping that it does well. I think that's one that you have to sit on for a while, honestly. Yeah, let's not try to spam the chat too much. But yeah, Happy New Year to you guys too. Update on BFT, nothing really that I can hear. I mean, they extended a contract with Microsoft recently, I think. But I think that was pretty much it. BEKE. That's one that I've talked about in the past. ARK has just been buying more and more of it though. Oh, ARK is the name of the company. Okay, so be on the lookout, guys. If there's some clickbait, and who knows if I'll do it, but clickbait video about an ARK Invest SPAC, be on the lookout for that because it's probably that company. If it really isn't like by ARK Invest, I don't think they would do that though. But I heard someone talking about it maybe an hour ago or something like that too, outside of this. All right. Well, thank you guys for watching. If you want to go back through and see some of the stocks that I bought this week, I laid all of them out. Definitely check out the beginning of the video. Thank you guys for watching. A lot of big things coming up. A lot of people have been asking me about different stocks in this, and I've talked about them actually a lot in videos recently. But definitely be on the lookout for that Fubo video coming up in a few hours. Have a great time tonight. Be safe. There's also a video on the ARK Invest funds that I bought that I'll put up tomorrow. And again, if you guys want those free stocks through WeBull, if you want to join the Patreon group, getting a little bit earlier when I'm buying or selling stocks, you can check that out down below. Thank you guys so much for everything. I appreciate it. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.